he had to back away, I think. Like, you can't be saying this shit and still expect to make as much money as you did. Like, there are a lot of people that will get very upset at this. Anyway, having said that, a message to progressive Jews. Did you just send me your own fucking video?
Design.
Okay, well, I'll watch it. Fuck it. But before I watch this, or while I'm watching this, I am going to run a 1-minute ad break here because I forgot to run it at the top of the hour, and we are already at the top of the hour, boys. So there's a 60-second ad break incoming. If you no longer want to see the ads, obviously you already know what a deal is. You already know what to do. You can subscribe. You can do it for free with a Twitch Prime. And yeah, we'll watch promo from this person who has a message to Jews about Zionism. And here's the 1-minute ad break now. And then I'm going to talk about the housing market in a little bit too.
Progressive Jews, leftist Jews, hell, even self-described anti-Zionist Jews like myself. You're fucking this up.
God damn, this dude's voice is sexy as fuck. Never mind. I was not expecting this. Like, he does not look like he's got a voice like that. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm talking about? Where I was just like expecting him not to have like such a silky ass voice, dude.
Let me be more emphatic. You are fucking this the fuck up. It's almost as if you don't realize that Israel wanted you to entirely shift the conversation away from Gaza and occupation. Either you're fucking stupid or you're fucking lying. And honestly, I just need you to be fucking stupid right now, because if you're lying, then I'm gonna fucking lose it. You know, we were on the verge, maybe we still are, of a moral awakening about the atrocities Israel inflicts upon the Palestinian people. And all it took was a couple of incidents of anti-Semitism in the U.S. to knock that shit right out of the frame. Now, anti-Semitism is terrible, but welcome to fucking being Jewish. You want egg cream? And it shouldn't happen to us ever, but right now, all of your tripping over yourselves to make it look like you're so serious about anti-Semitism has just made the narrative about us. And worse yet, has put Palestinian people on the spot to denounce acts they have no responsibility for. While some of them are mourning the losses of families, neighborhoods, and you're probably saying, well, we can care about both, right? I mean, if that were the case, I don't think we'd be in this fucking position to begin with. But that aside, what's most relevant is that the reason that Israel and its defenders want you to perform concern about anti-Semitism isn't because they want to stop it. They just want you to talk less about Gaza. They want you to also unwittingly connect anti-Semitism to Palestinian activism. That's what they want you to do. And you think you can manage the narrative or out-navigate the Israeli PR machine. You fucking can't. You haven't. And you got fucking played. And let's talk about why there might, God only knows, why there might be an uptick in anti-Semitic sentiment right now. The Jewish homeland. And they also hammer that message, assassinates Iranian scientists. Maybe it has something to fucking do with the apartheid state that brutalizes and displaces Palestinians, that devastated Lebanon, that assassinates Iranian scientists in our fucking name as the Jewish state. And I've seen some leftists be like, well, don't use what Israel does to Palestinians as an excuse to be anti-Semitic. The entire fucking world, let alone Palestinians, have been told for decades by political, cultural, and journalistic figures that Israel is the uncontested Jewish state, the Jewish homeland.
Yeah, it's always, look, I've talked about this before as well. It's like when someone who is an avowed Zionist, who's like an Israeli Jew, says the exact same thing that someone who is not a Zionist or an anti-Zionist says, it's literally considered anti-Semitic. If you are to say that all Jews unconditionally support Israel, and you yourself are not Israeli and a Zionist or whatever, or even Jewish, you are considered anti-Semitic. And that is an anti-Semitic sentiment, okay? But the exact same thing is oftentimes said by ultra-Zionists. Not even ultra-Zionists. Like, a lot of people say that. And it's considered to be completely acceptable. When the American writers and whatnot get excited about the IDF training American police forces, that's a brilliant moment for American and Israeli relationships, right? But when I say it, it's blood libel. Like, motherfuckers will be like, it's blood libel that you mentioned that, you know, the IDF trains the American police force. Like, that's crazy. But you just said it last week and you were promoting it. So it is like this very weird double standard where you are always trapped. Where you are always trapped in a losing argument. I just ended the dono. Sorry. Why do people want to ruin TTS for the rest of us? I don't know. So, don't Zionists call Bernie a traitor just because he doesn't support Israel? Yeah. He's going into victim blaming here? No, I think what he's going to try to say is that the reason why motherfuckers can't separate between, and you're right, though. I do think that, like, no matter what, anti-Semitism is unacceptable, unconditionally, straight up. But I think what he's trying to say is it creates more anti-Semitic behavior in people when you're connecting those dots on your own, like when you're willingly connecting those dots. And even then, it doesn't matter because the fault in that circumstance still lies on the person who is doing the anti-Semitic action.
And they also hammer that message home by saying that criticism of Israel, not even anti-Zionism, is anti-Semitic. So if Palestinians and others impacted by Israel are told that it's the Jewish state that represents all Jews while entire fucking families are being wiped out in Gaza, what the fuck do you expect them to feel toward us? A schoolgirl crush? Whimsical curiosity?
Yeah. So the thing is, like, and I've mentioned this before, like, most people that have not been brought up with a sea of propaganda that is like, you have to always support Israel uncritically, unconditionally, always support Israel. Most people that haven't been raised that way are not going to look to this situation and be like, oh, okay, well, yeah, I think like I think what's going on here is right and just. Like, you have to take that into consideration. What did Pokalaw say? Hasan, you better hang out with me. Yell at him to hang out with me when he's in Austin or I'm mad. Of course I'm gonna hang out with you, motherfucker. What does this take, dude? Obviously, Israel and the Zionist movement designed this trap intentionally. It shields the state from criticism because they can say you are being anti-Semitic when you criticize Israel because you definitionally are. To be a citizen, you must be Jewish. Yeah. What's really fucked up is, like, the rise in anti-Semitism isn't just attributed to, like, what's going on in the past 2 weeks. That's what's psychotic about this. Like, the single largest anti-Semitic attack on U.S. soil occurred a couple years ago, guys. It was one of the, in modern history, it is the single largest anti-Semitic hate crime. The Pittsburgh synagogue shooting happened not that long ago. Anti-Semitism has been a problem in Western society in perpetuity. It has always been an issue. Originally, it was used to justify pogroms against the Jews, expulsion and murder and forced conversions. Whether you look to Spain or Portugal or Russia or any other fucking place where Jews live, that's why there's a lot of intergenerational trauma within the shared history of Jews, okay? That's why there's a lot of Jewish people that are just, like, always terrified that, you know, there is an enemy combatant, like, that at any given moment, someone could just pop off and be, like, super fucking anti-Semitic. And there's also truth to that, okay? But you have to separate that. If you are an honest broker, you have to fucking separate. Yeah, anti-Semitic violence went right after Trump was elected, yet the Israeli government loves Trump and Republicans. They're awful at willing to sell out Jews abroad to the right-wing mob. Yeah, they are. And they do. Just like Netanyahu is partnered up with, like, actual fucking anti-Semites who run anti-Semitic campaigns like Orban. So the issue is weaponizing, like, legitimate claims of anti-Semitism as a deflection, like drawing it up like a shield in an instance where something that should be completely separated from being Jewish, the actions of a fucking nation state, turn around and use that as a way to be like, oh, well, you know, Anti-Semitism is on the rise. Sorry, can't talk about fucking... of course anti-Semitism is awful, but I'm having a hard time understanding why calling out Israeli Jews that are persecuting Palestinians makes you anti-Semitic. I'm not generalizing to all Jews. Someone is making an assumption about what I'm saying. It seems ridiculous. I mean, because the idea is that no matter what, like, you should not be considering, like, every single person in Israel to be a part of a monolith. And you should also recognize that a lot of that comes from their programming. Like, what are you going to do? I mean, there's people in here right now that probably grew up with this understanding that only recently changed their minds on the subject. Feel me? This is gonna give me brain cancer. I already know. It's like calling people anti-American for calling out American war crimes against humanity. I mean, it's like if you're an American living abroad, okay, and it doesn't matter if you fucking agree with America's actions or not, and someone just beats the shit out of you because of what America did in Iraq, and you're like, well, what the fuck? I hate the American government, and I hate that, like it's like me. If I went back to Turkey and someone fucking came up to me and were like, aren't you fucking American, you piece of shit, and started beating the shit out of me. Now, I know chat's gonna meme about it, but like, that's unacceptable. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, so the reality is if I went back to Turkey, I think there's other issues that Turkish people would have with my rhetoric and things I've said on this broadcast before we get to you know, just anything else. I see the fucking comments on Twitter, dude. Motherfucker with his like, he doesn't deny Armenian genocide, bro. Come to Turkey, I'll show you what, bro. Anyway, the second anti-Semitic people come out of the woodwork using Palestinian support as a justification for the disgusting behavior, Israel and its supporters jump on it to call themselves a victim. Yeah, it's just like the actions of a few, or even a lot of people, the actions of a lot of people in a movement does not delegitimize the overarching opinion or the overarching slant of justice in that circumstance. Okay, Mehdi called you out. What did he say? Let's see what he said. I want to know. Mehdi Hasan? I doubt it, but I want to see what Mehdi Hasan had to say about Mark Ruffalo's statement, actually, because I think he like defended the truth is that Mark Ruffalo has done more to highlight and amplify the plight of Palestinians, Native Americans, Iraqis, Baha'is, and low-income Americans than most other celebrities, and also the most online armchair warriors slamming him as a sellout, etc. on Twitter today. He's right about that, for sure. He has. That's why I like him a lot, and I was very disappointed. As I tried to explain to my own Pakistan-based trolls last week, you can disagree with a single tweet or statements without going all "you're dead to me" and "you're a sellout" and ignoring an entire life, career, body of work which doesn't fit your lazy black and white narrative. That's the part I don't like, because it's not fucking like a lazy black and white narrative. Here's Mark Ruffalo rightly referring to apartheid in the occupied territories in an interview with me last year. People on the left and in pro-Palestinian circles love them then. That doesn't think it's genocide doesn't make him a turncoat. Sigh. Okay, here's the thing. I want to know. I mean, maybe I'll DM him about this, but maybe does Mehdi Hasan not think that the remember when you